We're out here in Holiday working on a project at a beautiful church, and yeah, I'm gonna show you what we did.
Varieties of coneflower here. We have orange coneflower, and we also have echinacea in here. We have graceful blazing star, and then back here we have silver aster, another wonderful aster, pretty similar to the other one, a little taller. Okay. And then we have lance leaf tickseed, which is the perennial tickseed. It'll reseed really nicely too. Okay. And then we have rattlesnake master, I believe. Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rattlesnake master. Then we have Brighton's bear grass, which is not a grass. It's super endangered. There's only about 7 or so colonies of it left in the world. Okay. We have a couple of those. And then we have our button sage here. We love those. I love pruning them. They smell like green tea. I wish they weren't toxic. More bear grass, silver aster, Adam's needle. It's a type of yucca. Yeah, yucca filamentosa. It's so cool. Very beautiful blooms. Fetterbush here is a type of blue. It's in the Lyonia family. Same thing as blueberries and all that, from my understanding. Birds love it. And it's one of the best plants when it gets that sun tint burnt red tips on the outside. It almost looks iridescent with little pink bells. Back there is Piney Woods drop seed, which will create these awesome little blooms, almost like mini mealy grass. Over here we have Lakeside sunflower or Flatwood sunflower. Okay. Echinacea. This is Vaccinium darani.
This is actually rayless sunflower.
Green eyes. We also have this is southern wiregrass. Okay. So different type of wiregrass. Here we have sandhill wireweed, okay. Which is one of my new favorites. It's one of my new top plants. It smells incredible, brilliant white pistil that it shoots out. The inflorescence is incredible. Then we have Garbaria here, which is also in the Liatris family, apparently. It's a long-distant cousin. And it gets these big purple clusters right here, and you see them all up in like Ocala, over by like the prairie.
So here we added some Cape Sable Thoroughwort Chromalena frustrata. That is a PA alkaloid producer. It gets lovely little purple flowers, similar to the mist flowers, as you can see. Chromalena frustrata. So it'll be an excellent nectar source for PA alkaloid loving species of pollinators. We added a false indigo here, Amorpha fruticosa. That's a host plant for 3 species of butterflies: the southern dogface, silver spotted skipper. It's also a lovely spring bloomer and winter dormant, so it'll reach a good 8 feet tall and really fill in this space and give it some shade. Back here we've got some Conradina grandiflora, large flowered false rosemary, nice spring. I mean, it blooms often outside of spring as well. Next to it here we've got some Garbaria heterophylla, which gets some lovely late summer purple blossoms, grows into a large 4x4 shrub eventually. Here we added some Cherokee bean, coral bean. That species is a great hummingbird attractor, produces early spring pink blossoms, is a little bit thorny and does get fairly large, so this is really tiny and not highlighting the plant's full maturity sizes. Button sage, our native lantana, that's stable, drought tolerant, a little bit salt tolerant as well. Gets about 6 feet tall, blooms 365 days a year, constant source of nectar and berries for birds. Just a lovely all around. I'm a huge fan, if you can't tell. More large flowered false rosemary. Here we've got some more Garbaria. That'll fill in that space nicely. Back here we've got some Florida green eyes, endemic. Lovely drought tolerant wildflower. Here we've got some, I'm not sure if this is muley grass or sand cord grass or piney woods drop seed, but it's one of those. Here we've got some flatwood sunflower, which blooms profusely and provides pollen for 50 native bee species. Here we added some Darrow's blueberry, It's a host plant for 162 Lepidoptera species. Also provides essential pollen for 14 native bee species of the 300. More Florida green eyes. Here we added some Yucca filamentosa, the bear's grass or Adam's needle. That's a host plant for 2 species, the Kofiki giant skipper and the Yucca giant skipper. And then it's also requires the Yucca moth, which is a nighttime pollinator for pollination. Another Darrow's blueberry here. Again, these provide also edible fruits for birds. Back here we added some rayless sunflower, Helianthus radula. And back here, I think that's another flatwood sunflower. Some more of the cool grasses. We've got a fetter bush here, Leonia species, early spring bloomer, sort of related to blueberries. So blueberry bees especially love those. Some more Adam's needle, bear's grass. We added some western silverleaf aster, Symphyotrichum genus, are keystone pollen sources for native bees. Some Nolina britonia, Britain's bear's grass. This is a endangered species. Puts up big plumes of flower spikes, sort of like yuccas and aloes do, that are really impressive. Another button sage. Lanceleaf tickseed, Coreopsis lanceolata, lanceleaf tickseed. More lanceleaf tickseed. We added some graceful blazing star here, Liatris gracilis, more Liatris gracilis. I think this is more rayless sunflower, Helianthus radula.
Doesn't die back too much in the winter, comes that strong. Coral bean, mine looks like it's leafless, which it should be. Yours is at a nursery babied, so it's fully leafed up right now, but it loses all its leaves in the winter. Okay. And then you get these big red flower spikes right now. Yeah. Which I don't know that this one will do this year, but next year, count on it. Yeah. And it's hummingbird food. This is like the best way. That and long-tongued bees and butterflies. And then we have Florida false rosemary, or large flowered rosemary. Not rosemary, but it is edible. Wonderful minty. Make it into tea, use it as a sprinkle on some food. Then we have lead plant, or false indigo. Brilliant purpley red flowers. I think it's incredible. It's a little floppy, but they're all like that. If you want, you could stake it, but honestly, I would probably say it's. We pointed it this way so it could grow. Okay. And then this is a type of thoroughwort that Anthony is more familiar with. I haven't actually used this one before.
Cape sable thoroughwort.
Cape sable thoroughwort.
Endangered.
Yeah.
Flowers look just like blue mist flower.
Yeah, as far as maintenance for all of this, a lot of it's just some deadhead.
Here we have Pityopsis tracei, which is one of the silkgrass species. Pityopsis is a keystone pollen and nectar source species. Here we added some tropical sage, which will grow into nice tall flowering spikes. Blue-eyed grass, cutleaf coneflower, more blue-eyed grass. Back here we have some pineland snowberry, Geocaca pinatorium. I just love saying that. Geocaca. We added some Rolf's milkweed, Asclepias tuberosa of our Rolfsii. We got some scrub St. John's wort here. And a gray leaf tea bush. We're going for something big to cover the window, but not too blot out the vision. And tea bush, blooms year round, little pink flowers, but it's nice and wispy, so it doesn't typically provide like a privacy barrier. More Rolf's milkweed, scrub St. John's wort, blue-eyed grass, cutleaf coneflower, pineland snowberry. We added some Symphyotrichum lava, eastern smoothleaf aster, more tropical sage, and then over here in the corner, like on the other side, for some balance, we added some more Pityopsis tracei. And one of the interesting features of this landscape was each of these zones were sort of created as a different habitat featuring different species. And here we've got some sea lavender. We've got some dune sunflower. This is silverling, Baccharis glomerululifolia, which grows into an 8-foot tall shrub. And the Baccharis genus is keystone. It hosts 32 species of moths. More dune sunflower. Helianthus feeds 50 native bee species with pollen and nectar. Grasses, sea oats. Yes, sea oats. So this is our coastal habitat in particular. And we've got some wand goldenrod here, some Jamaican caper here on the corner. We added some Christmas berry here. This is mangrove lily, mangrove spider lily, inkberry, more wand goldenrod, inkberry. We got some beach tea, croton here, which will fill this in very nicely. We've got some beach morning glory here and here. I believe this is hurricane grass and Tampa verbena. And then over here we added some Bahama cassia or Senna mexicana varchapmani. Back here we've got a bay cedar. We've got 2 beach creepers and some partridge pea here. Partridge pea hosts 5 species of butterflies, Serranus blue being an imperiled one. Tampa Bay Landscapes. He's our designer on this project.
Came out really nice.
Yeah.
Final touches here. It'll all be wrapped up. We have a beautiful exhibit garden here to see all the pollinators, local butterflies. It would be the better bird feeder than you could ever ask for.
Yes, sir.
Really stoked about it.
And then out here in the front by the entrance to the church, we were going for stuff that wouldn't attract too many bees and pollinators for people coming in and out. But we added some white pineland heliotrope, some kunti here, and this little hell strip in the front, which does get some direct sunlight. Now back here is completely shaded. So we've got some peperomia obtusifolia. We've got some softleaf coffee, Psychotria ligustrina. This is Bahama coffee, our South Florida variety, and then we also have some shiny coffee. So all 3 Psychotria species are represented in this planting. And then down here we've got some creeping sage or river sage, if you prefer, more peperomia. Then on the other side we added some more peperomia here to fill in these little gaps. Same here on the other side, some peperomia in here, here. Kunti again, more white pineland heliotrope, and then over here the wild coffee peperomia along the edges, and creeping or river sage here in the center. And then over here we've got some lyre-leaf sage, some Stokes aster, some violas, violets, keystone species. I believe that's sand cord grass, wild petunia, Chapman's goldenrod, Chrysopsis mariana, Maryland golden aster. Here is frostweed, a whole patch of 5 or 6 of those, which will fill in nicely and get nice and tall here. More lyre-leaf sage, prairie coneflower, Ratibida pinnata, more Chapman's goldenrod, Solidago odora varchapmani, more wild petunia, more sand cordgrass. We've got some rouge plant back here. Excellent bird food with those lovely berries and fruits constantly year-round. This is a shade species typically, but it can also handle pretty good sunlight. More Stokes aster. I think that's a Maryland golden aster there. More violets. We added some Andropogon virginicus varglaucus, bushy blue stem. There's a couple specimens of those, one down further there too. These host 5 species of butterflies in particular. We added more rouge plant here. This side's a little bit shadier. There's a wild lime here, which hosts the giant swallowtail. We've got beautyberry here, and then there's 2 firebush here. Camellia potens, var potens. Firebush gets very large, blooms pretty much year-round except in freezes, and hosts one of the sphinx moths in particular. Another beautyberry, another wild lime, and that's pretty much the project. And we'll be showing you some videos as this matures and you know, starts to fill in. That process takes some time.